a Gibson Les Paul Signature Series. Needs a setup, needs a little bit of work done on the back, a little bit of work there. We don't know whether the electrics are working, but we're going to, and a little bit of a scratch on the plate there. We're going to see what we can do with those, but I don't know what we can do with that there. Now, if any of you haven't spotted it yet, there are some signs that make me think that it's not a Gibson. One, the heads doesn't have the Gibson logo on it. Two, the head's quite fat compared to my hand, it's quite wide. Three, the tuners don't have any name on them whatsoever. Four, I'm counting, I don't know, that plastic head is too high and it's plastic for a start. I don't know whether the Signature Series have beads, but most Les Pauls have beads over the end of the frets. What else? I've lost count, but also rhythm. The word rhythm is covered by the knob. That is not normal. Gibson would be a bit more fussy than that, one hopes. Also, the knob color is different from the rest of the guitar, but that could have come off. Secondly, where I've lost completely count, this saddle bridge combination doesn't look Gibsonish unless they did something new with it. But you see the intonation pattern on it? That gives you no adjustment except for these little Allen key adjustments to make it go in and out that way. Not sure about that. The knobs feel a bit spongy. Oh, gotta stop, there's a call coming in. Where was I? When I was on the phone, I took the strings off as I was talking to the person I was talking to. Right, what else did I spot that I particularly didn't, that I suspected? The wrapping around the pickups is a bit tacky looking. Let's have a look at the back. Oh yes, the other thing is there's no model number on it at all. I did say there's no serial number, isn't there? I did think I said that. Right, okay. On the back, let's have a look. That doesn't feel, that's matte coloured. I think they're shiny, and I think they have countersunk screws. They could have been replaced. And also, if you look at this here, it's very, very poor indentation on it. It's, you know, if you polish that too much, you'd lose it. So that's all sort of fake looking. And also, I don't think they made them in China. Do they? I don't think they make them in China. I think they made them in Korea. I'll have to look that up. Now, what I'm going to do, let me just check everything. What I'm going to do, I'm going to look up. The neck actually feels a bit thick too. Neck feels quite thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up this kind of Gibson and see what it. Did I mention about the knobs being soft? They feel soft. That let's feel it. Also, yeah, I'm going to look it up and see how far out I am. Maybe this is a perfectly good Gibson, although I suspect it's not. I put my glasses on to see this, and it says Gibson Baldwin Education. Interesting. So, after my research, I discover that this is indeed a Gibson, believe it or not. It's a very cheap made education guitar which Gibson teamed up with Baldwin Music, and everybody who bought one of these would pay a price, and it would be a very cheap price, but part of the proceeds would go to a music foundation. But these guitars were made so cheap that they didn't last very long. hence all the warning signs that I sort of spotted. They didn't put the nibs on the side of the education guitars, and it was made in China. So I'm going to put the other camera on, test it out, and eat all my words, although my words, most of the people on the internet are saying the same thing as me, that the head was too fat, the neck was too fat, blah, blah, blah. I think it was a mistake by Gibson to try to do this because they further ruined their reputation. This came out in 2008, I believe. So on with the other camera and get this set up. Well, that was a waste of bloody time. I'm talking away to you and giving you all the benefit of my knowledge, and I hadn't got a card in the camera, no SD card, but it was only about 5 minutes. Anyway, what I did do, I tested the pickups for, they're both working, switches are working, and the tone controls are working fine. What I did point out is, however, if you have a listen, bzz, hiss, buzz, crackling, and that's what one of the people on the internet was saying. They had one of these and it crackled and hissed and buzzed. But for the job it's going to do, I know it's going to go to a young fella who's going to learn guitar. I'm going to get this set up nicely. Other people did say that the neck was too thick, but for a learner it'll not be too bad. So all I have to do now, because I know everything's working there, is get the strings on it. We'll get the neck polished up. It's actually being used quite a bit because there's a few dents in the, but not enough to cause a refret or anything like that there, but a few dents. String height needs to come down a bit, and this needed to be adjusted because it was sitting way up here. That might have been a reason for that, I don't know, but we'll get into it now. I find it almost impossible to match the color, but what I've done there is I've just tinted it a little bit, and I put some super glue on the top. It's not dry enough yet to start scraping and polishing, but it's dry enough for me to allow me to work on the rest of the guitar. So out you come, that's it, and I can do the neck now. A neck. I'm going to clean it and scratch it. I'm not going to do very much exciting to this. I'm just going to do the standard setup job and what I told you already. But let's just zoom in on the neck because that's where I'm going to be working. And there we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? So I'm going to check the neck to see for any frets that are out of place. Somewhat on the edge of that, you can just see where they've let their quality control skip. Do you see the way that's got a black line around it? And even there they've got a black line, black mark on it. So their quality control was not great on this Chinese factory. And if you look at that lug for holding it up, you'll see that it's lifted half out of the guitar, and I got a feeling that might be for a reason, because the thing wouldn't fit if it didn't. Let me look and see. Yeah, if I was to put that back down the way it should do, it wouldn't fit because there's no give sideways on this, so that's going to have to sit up like that. Okay, well, that's just life as it is. I think the tuners, remember I mentioned about the tuners at the beginning, the tuners are okay, but they're just cheap. Sort of what you call them. Tuners that you can get off Amazon for about £7 or £8. I say, Gibson don't do themselves. Maybe that's why they don't have a name on the top of their guitar. They don't do themselves any favors by putting out cheap stuff like this. Most of the posts of when I looked this up, most of the posts people kept saying, no, that's a fake. That's a fake. It doesn't have the Gibson logo at the top. It's a fake. So that might have been a deliberate ploy on Gibson's part. You put it up there and let people think it's a fake because the quality's not great. When I say not great, I'm using the comparison to what a Gibson's supposed to be like. This is a great little guitar. It is a great little guitar. But if you're looking at a Gibson, it should be greater. Well, so they say. Right, let me clean this up. And I'm going to switch off the camera. I'm going to put the strings on and get it set up and come back to you when it's ready to get tuned. Okay. Now, try to get this strung up without Georgia girl torturing me to death. Could you, hey, just excuse me. Just let me do this. Could you let go? Let go. Thank you. Now, let me just make sure that's in properly. Did you believe that? Look at that, look. It doesn't quite fit properly, but properly enough. Do you mind not chewing on the guitar strings when I put them on? Excuse me. Hey, I just put that in there. Right, okay. Thank you. I say right okay again. Why did I do that? I must get over that. I should call my channel Right Okay. I'm putting a lot of turns on this E string because it's the finest string and it does tend to slip out the finer strings. So I'm putting 6 or 8 turns on it to make sure that it's not going to slip or jump. Right, so that neck is far too, it's actually touching there. So that means that I got to raise these. I didn't take the neck off, and I hope I don't have to take the neck off, but I got a feeling that was just raised far too much. Right, next one. Oh, you! Give me that. Can't, she stole the B string. Look at her, she's up there trying to steal another string. Do you know how hard you make it for me to string guitars? I would give it to you to do, but you'd only chew on the strings. No. B string. I'll be fussy about putting it in the groove later. I'll turn them round. Don't chew it when I'm playing with it. Thank you. Don't chew it. Thank you. Excuse me. Excuse me. Even though the pegs are cheap, the tuning pegs are cheap, they're not bad. They're not bad. They're working well. That's the main thing. Right, okay. I said right okay. Stop it, Austin! For goodness sake, and that's annoying. Now that I can hear myself saying it, it's very annoying. Black. These Orphe strings, they don't give you a wound G string, and they're lights, they're 9s. They're 9s for this one because I bought 9s. I bought 10 or 12 packets of them. I thought I might do what the fancy luthiers do and buy it in bulk. You know, the big round, the big coils of it you can just peel off. 200 pounds, 150 pounds per string for the big 200 meter. Anyway, I think I'll just keep going. You're not in my road, don't you worry. Even though I can't see anything and your ass is in my face, don't you worry, I'll get round you. Right. Have you stolen a string? There's a string missing. Have you stolen the string? You're such a pain, you are. She's chewing away at the strings, as you probably can see. Can you see? Yeah, she's chewing away at the end of the strings. She can get quite possessive of the strings. Oh, for goodness sake. I'm too busy paying attention to her, and I shouldn't be. Stupid. I may now need another new set of strings. Why didn't you tell me, YouTube people? Why didn't you tell me? Silly buggers. Why didn't you tell me that I was putting them on wrong or incorrectly? You could have told me. You could have shouted something. Yeah, there's no easy way to do this. They'll have to come out. Yeah, they're going to have to come out. My own stupidity. Anyway, here we go. E strings. I bought a pile of E strings. You can't have enough E strings, especially when Georgie girl's around. Right, I wasted a good extra 15 minutes because I did it wrong. And there's something wrong with that string there. It's sticking out too far at the end. Right, okay. Now I'm going to stop and adjust the height of this, and then I'll get it tuned. Right, let's get her on the tune. Tuner on. Right, so I'm going to let that sit. Let me just check the... Oh. Alright, so we've got a problem with the jack plug. Alright, stop now, cup of tea, bit of chocolate, and then tomorrow. Right, the following day, and we had a problem with the jack socket, as you remember. We have a 19-mile-an-hour gales outside, so if you hear noisy wind, not much I can do about it. But we have a unique problem, because when I use the thing to tighten it, and I tighten it, it spins because it's disconnected from the inside. So I have to take this off and replace it, but it's unusual. It probably would be fine, but it does mean that it's not going to get a really solid connection. So fortunately I have a really good one, a 6-way jack, but I'm going to just replace it with this one. It's just another sign that if you look at it, they've used the cheapest possible parts on it, unfortunately. But again, if you look at the wiring, I haven't taken the wiring apart. None of it's shielded, none of it's cored. Anyway, I'm just going to resolder that on and put it back in again. But I wanted to show you the fact that it's spinning around when you turn that core is spinning around, which is unusual. But when it's a pressed-in cheap thing, you can expect that. Okay, that's it. Soldered back on again, and the old one is where? What have I done with the old one there? It doesn't look old. It doesn't look old, but it's old and cheap. You can see the cracks. They've just used cheap metal and they pressed that down, and that's spinning around. Doesn't give a good contact. So that's already in. Let's just test it. I've already tested it before I screwed it on. That's better. Right, now we'll untest it, and what I'll do next is I'll just scrape a bit there, polish this, and I'll set up the strings and check the height. That pickup looks very close. We'll sort that out. Okay, I'll come back to you when I get the camera adjusted. Right, let's get this thing tuned up. I have put a minor repair down there just to take the bad look of it. Never would match up the color. Fixed up a little dinge there. I managed to fix the rhythm thing so that it's not hidden by the washer. Every time you touch this guitar, well, especially my greasy hands, been working on it, it's so hard to keep clean. You've seen everything that's been done to it. I've lowered the pickups and set it, new strings, heads all been done, new tuners, blah blah blah, and I'm going to get the every time you touch it, don't touch the guitar. Look at the fingerprints everywhere. Anyway, I'll plug it in, stop complaining, and let's get her tuned up, and then play a little tune on it and get it back to the baby that's going to be playing it. Well, don't know what's baby. Look, I touched the head once and there's fingerprints on it. That's my tuner. I don't think you can see it over there, but it's my tuner. A little iPhone 4, but it works perfectly. It's no longer any use to anybody. Pickups are good in this. Aha! There's my door going. Just a second, I press the button and pause you. Hold on. It's a bloody windy night and my visitor is gone, but look who's coming to see us. Wants to be up on the bench. So, see how long she lasts there. I'm going to tune this up now. It might, one of the problems is with her is that she wants to be in my arms all the time when I'm at the bench, so maybe this will help. Now, the interesting thing about this is I've been pretty hard on it. But it's a lovely little guitar and the pickups are excellent. And I probably wouldn't have been as hard on it had it been up to the standards that normally I expect or would hope to expect from the Gibson. I've got a little bit, just a little bit too close there, so I need to bring up the bottom. going to redo the playing of it again. I was rushed last night. I actually, this guitar has grown on me. It's a lovely guitar. It's just a shame that Gibson decided to go cheap on a few of the aspects of it, because it is a lovely sounding guitar. It plays nicely, and they would have got 8 out of 10 from me, but they're only going to get 6 out of 10 from me. But it's a lovely song. It's a lovely guitar. And if you're wondering what this song is leading to, I want to make it with you. Sounds actually a lot better on the 12 string, but that's beautiful chords. I love the way he changes the whole tone of the song by just going, oops, sorry. Where? And if you're wondering what this song is leading to, beautiful chord change. I love it. Anyway, time to go. Bye, bye, bye. Apologize for my singing. My electric ukulele, Gibson Les Paul style. My Tanglewood, Gibson Les Paul style. And the client's Gibson Baldwin Educational Les Paul. I thought it was cute looking to see all three sitting together. Right?